got what's going on? What's going on, yo? You got the big Sony joint. All right. Damn, got the light. See, that's what I need, a light.
What's going on? What's happening? I'm the Kingpin Shaheem. This is the official queen of hip hop. MC Kimba. Can't get no doper than that right there. Straight like that. We're gonna put it on tonight. We here at EastVillageRadio.com. Anybody wanna come on, check it out, tune in. Just go to tune in on EastVillage.com and you will see the official Infinity 4 MCs. Only two of us here. GrandMixer DST, official tissue. That's what it is.
TC is here with us, and our special guest, the GrandMixer DXT, also here with our members of Infinity. This is a really big show for us. We just want to say thank you for coming out. We appreciate it.
What's up, D?
How you doing? Yeah. Real quick, I just want you to give us a little bit of your history and how you got started before you take over the turntables here.
I don't think I'm spinning tonight, but
No? Okay.
I thought you were spinning, bro.
No, that's your job tonight.
Across the street tonight.
I see my brother Kenny Swift is in the house.
Yeah. Ken Swift, Burn 1.
Phase 2, the truth.
Phase 2, the truth, yeah.
To answer your question, I got started through family lineage, actually. I'm from an entertainment family. And my mom is a singer. My aunts, I had some of her best friends were singers and had bands, and my uncles and stuff like that. So I grew up in the environment of entertainment. And so I spent my entire school time in the auditorium, from elementary school to junior high school to high school. And I mean, basically, I got my first drum set, I was around 6, maybe even younger. My second one around 13. I'm actually a drummer.
Okay.
And 1973, I was around 12 years old, and my mother bought a record called Bongo Rock. That pretty much was my introduction into paying closer attention to recordings with these rhythms. As a drummer, I was already in tune with beats and rhythms, and the bongo rock had a certain vibe to it that was very special. Actually, at the time, I never heard of Kool Herc, never heard of Grandmaster Flash, never heard of Africa Bambaataa, didn't hear anybody, and I don't think any of them ever heard of each other at that time, 73, which is actually the first Kool Herc party was 1973. And I was 12, 13 years old. But my training and family lineage of being in music automatically connected me to those rhythms, which now, as I matured, came to realize that they were African rhythms that I was just reconnecting with spiritually. And Kool Herc, finally, as 3 or 4 or 5 years later, I finally saw Kool Herc, and that kind of brought it all together for me as far as what was the best way to express that understanding and that connection to those African rhythms.
Very, very nice. So you grew up in a professional music family. Was that the connection to you as far as how you got connected with Herbie Hancock, or was that something that just sort of fell in place?
No, it's weird. I'm gonna tell this story, and it's actually true, and I have people that will definitely verify this. When I was around 13 or 14, a friend of mine, Mr. C, he's my brother, we was laying on an abandoned car in Edenwald Project, staring into the stars, talking about Don Kirshner's rock concert. And Herbie had performed on there, and he had did this thing with the synthesizer where he stood back from it and he made it breathe, sort of. And you know, we were already into music, so we were heavily into Don Kirshner's rock concert and all the groups that would perform on there. And when we saw Herbie, there was something about him that was very special. And now we're kids now. And I said to him that day, I said, one day I'm gonna play with Herbie.
What song did Herbie perform?
It was Chameleon, and then he went into this vamp in Chameleon at the end where he did this thing with the synthesizer and made it go shh. Of course, he didn't really actually do that. We learned later it was all technology. He was just ahead of the game. And so I said that to Mr. C. And not too long ago, we were on a tour bus, and Mr. C was with me. And he said to Herbie, this guy said when we were kids, he was going to play with you. And I have to, you know, stand here and tell you this. I don't know if you believe it or not, but he actually said he was. But actually what connected me to Herbie was my desire to expand my DJing ability and where I played at. Because I was one of the rare guys from the Bronx that decided, you know what, this is one place to play, but I want to play at places. I was so inspired by Kool Herc. A part of me wanted to be Kool Herc. So I wanted to go places where nobody heard hip hop and play. So I went into Westchester and started working my way up there. Finally, when the downtown scene, because I met a girl who I fell in love with, who ultimately became my wife, lived on 19th Street.
Nice.
And so I spent a lot of time there, so I found out about this skating rink called the Roxy. At the same time, we were doing clubs like the Grill. I had met Blues of Blue. Yeah. And so we were doing Dance Terrier and a club called the Grill. And then, you know, I mentioned to her, there's this roller skating rink over here where, you know, they're skating, but if we can get in there and do it, and sure enough, she went and checked it out. And it became Roxy, and that's when I really started playing back in New York as much as all the other DJs. But the progression of the Roxy becoming the #1 club in New York is what brought the stars and the musicians and the actors and all of this big scene to the downtown scene. And in the process, I met people who subsequently were connected to producers and other record companies that introduced me to producers who just so happened to be working on a song, doing demos for Herbie Hancock.
That's a nice story. I have another quick question. In terms of the Rocket situation, you did the scratches on that record, am I correct?
Yes, I played the turntable on that record.
Nice. So you,
man,
that takes me back to, but it takes, hey, you never
That's
know.
right.
But at that point in time, you gotta ask the question.
He was no gold scratcher back
No.
He played the instrument called the turntable.
I'm not saying that he didn't play, but I was saying I wanted, for the listeners out there who listen to the show, we have the actual, you know, person who performed on the record, so we want him to confirm it as well. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I put the emphasis on I played the turntable because, you know, there's an issue going on with the whole culture with documenting the historic stuff correctly, and you know, and I'm not trying to knock nobody, but I'm an introvert, and I spend most of my time not talking about any of this, and I realize that has been detrimental to my own place chronologically in the history. And so I've decided that in order for people to really understand what hip hop really is, the people that really know need to really talk about it. And I lived it from day one. And so I think it's critical that I speak now and express my history, because I can't tell everyone else's, I can only tell my own. And if each of us come to understand that we have to tell our own history, then we can put the puzzle together to understand what the big picture is as far as hip hop. So when I say I played the turntable, I didn't play the records, I played the turntable. And my approach to that was to manipulate the turntable in a way where I was improvising with the rhythms and the patterns and Herbie.
Okay, perfect.